Why is everyone mad at Shay Mitchell for launching her new skincare brand?
Want to know what I think is a little bit weird? And please let me know if you think I'm reaching. Skincare for toddlers.
If you haven't heard, right now, Shay Mitchell, along with her co-founder, are under major fire because they've created a skincare brand called Rini, which is marketed to children literally as young as 3.
There's a lot to unpack with Shay Mitchell's latest brand, which is all about skincare for children as young as 3 years old, wastefulness of sheet masks, and why you're even putting a sheet mask on a 3-year-old in the first place because she wants to copy mommy. What I don't see anybody talking about is how insidious the marketing is of this around toxins.
So apparently, skincare for 3-year-olds is a thing now? Yeah, it is. You heard that right. Shay Mitchell just launched a new skincare brand called Rini, and it's designed for little kids. Sheet mask for toddlers. Yeah, this is not satire, y'all. This is real. But according to Shay, Rini is not about beauty, it's about skincare. She said the idea came from her daughters wanting to copy her routines. You know, the innocence, I want to do what mommy does type of curiosity that all kids have. So that's essentially what made her want to start her brand. And honestly, I get that. That's sweet. That's what kids do. They are naturally curious. I went through the same thing when I was younger. When I would see my cousins and my mom do stuff like do their makeup, their hair, whatever, I wanted to do it as well because I just thought it was cool and that's what adults do. But every time I asked to do it, I would be told no because I was way too young and I had to wait until I was old enough. But nowadays, kids don't always hear a no. In fact, they rarely hear a no. So brands like Rini are turning that curiosity into a product. Instead of experimenting with adult routines under supervision, children are offered safe, colorful, Instagram-ready versions to buy and imitate. What used to be a playful, I wonder what this feels like moment is now planned, packaged, and sold. Curiosity has become something to consume now. So let's talk about the backlash that this brand has received because trust me, it was a lot. So we have a lot to unpack, so let's get into it and let's see if any of the criticism is valid. Hey everyone, I'm NK and welcome to another episode of Spatula Chats with NK featuring the iconic spatula. Over here we talk about beauty culture and the lives of modern women, so if you are into that, make sure you subscribe. Okay, so before focusing on Rini, let's talk about the founder behind it. It's Shay Mitchell and also Esther Song. She's like the co-founder, but we're going to focus on Shay Mitchell because y'all probably know Shay Mitchell. So she's a Canadian actress and entrepreneur who first gained fame for her role as Emily Fields on Pretty Little Liars. That was literally the biggest teen show in the early 2010s. Huge. I'm sure you have watched it. If you have not watched it, you have heard about it. After the show ended, Shay continued to act and she was in Netflix's You Season 1 and also other projects as well. However, while pursuing her acting career, she gradually shifted into the business world and built a lifestyle empire centered on travel, beauty, and motherhood. Her most notable achievement so far is Béis. Girl, I'm probably saying it wrong. It's a BEIS and it has like the apostrophe thingy, but basically it is a travel accessories company, which apparently it generated over $200 million last year. So that has been very, very successful for her. But throughout the years, she has been able to build this cool, capable mom who makes entrepreneurship look effortless and stylish at the same time. And of course, we know it's not like, girl, being a mom and entrepreneur, like you have to have a certain level of privilege to be able to do that flawlessly, but she has done a really good job at cultivating this image for herself. And that's why her previous brand has done so well. So when Shay launched Rini, a skincare brand for kids, it wasn't just a random celebrity project. It was a natural next step in her evolution from actress to entrepreneur. But this time she wasn't selling to the women like her. She was selling to their kids. And that's what makes this launch so controversial. Okay, so by now you know that the brand is called Rini, and this means children in Korean. Basically, Shay's kids are the ones who inspire this brand because they always wanted to do Shay's skincare routines, her beauty routines, whatever. So she wanted to create a way that is safe for them to participate in it. Because you know, adult skincare routines, those products have a lot of ingredients that are way too harsh for a young kid, like a 3-year-old or 2-year-old. It is honestly too much. Even my skin, I am an adult, but some of the products are way too like harsh for my skin too. So I need to use the sensitive stuff and just try to not burn my face off. So Rini launched with 3 hydrating sheet masks made from gentle ingredients like aloe vera and vitamin E. The packaging is very bright and cartoonish. It has pandas, unicorns, puppies, basically designed to make skincare feel like playtime. Shay says it's about spending quality time with her kids and teaching them that self-care can be fun and kind, not focused on appearance. This may seem like an innocent intention, you know, a mother wanting to spend quality time and girl time with her daughters and have the same safe way for them to imitate her routine without actually using the harsh products that Shay can use on her skin. But upon closer inspection, Rini is more than just a skincare brand. It illustrates how our culture continues to turn self-care into a commercialized product, now targeting kids, a very vulnerable demographic. And what really makes Rini so interesting is how it straddles two worlds, parenting and branding. It's presented as a wholesome ritual, yet it still adopts the same language and visuals that beauty culture uses. The packaging could easily sit on a Sephora shelf along with other products. It's pastel, it's minimal, it's clean. And when I think of those type of brands, I think of Glossier or Milk Makeup, so I can definitely see Rini right next to those on Sephora. And that's a little bit weird. It's just so weird and dystopian to have a kid's brand look like it could be an adult brand or even be sold right next to the adult products. Like, that is crazy. And to be honest, the brand's philosophy is pretty straightforward. Self-care begins early, and that's what makes people so uncomfortable. Kids don't need a 10,000 step skincare routine. They just need skin that gets dirty, scraped, healed, and lived in. That is part of the process of being a kid. And when self-care becomes a small version of adult routines, it quietly teaches children, especially young girls, that maintenance is a part of growing up. So the internet had a lot to say about Rini once Shay Mitchell made a post on Instagram. Some thought it was super cute and it's a great way for kids to bond with their parents. Others thought it was implementing harmful beauty standards onto children. I mean, like, if you are an adult, you already know how hard it is to be an adult, especially to be a young lady in this economy, in this country. Like, y'all be trying to call us ugly 10 different thousand ways. So to put these impossible standards on younger kids is definitely a no-go, and that's where a lot of people are crossing the line. The Sephora Kids conversation went viral last year, and it definitely ties into the launch of Rini, and I did make a video about it like a year ago on my other channel, so definitely make sure you check that out. It was a lot. Honestly, the whole thing was a mess because it just began with 9-year-olds carrying drunk elephant serums and demanding $80 retinol at checkout. I know, it was crazy. And parents and adults online were literally appalled, wondering when childhood turned into skincare routines and clean girl aesthetics. Honestly, most of the young girls, they were just on TikTok seeing their favorite influencer show their 10,000 step skincare routine to maintain flawless skin and to not get wrinkles. And in a lot of those videos, they say to start early, to start using serum, sunscreen, everything. Start using that early before the wrinkles even form so you can delay the aging process. Because y'all already know that aging is a mess. Like, the anti-aging culture is definitely excessive thanks to TikTok. And I made a video about this last week too, so it just shows you that it's always going to keep coming up. Like, the anti-aging beauty culture, things like that, it's always going to keep coming up, and Rini is just another example of that. And I get it though, because it might seem adorable that young girls do want to copy their moms. As I said, I was a young girl once before. I wanted to copy my mom. I wanted to wear heels, lipsticks, things like that. Now that I'm at the age, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, it's kind of part of my routine to do those things anyways. But when you're younger, you're just curious because you're seeing other people do it. That's just how it is. And instead of telling the kids, oh, you're gonna wait until you're older, now we're making a product for them so they can start early. Sure, it might seem cute, but not really. Because the problem is that it can create a space where these young girls are heavily fixated on their appearance, starting at a young age. And if you start at a young age, like, that's gonna mess you up when you're older. So we don't need that, you know what I'm saying? As a child, you should not be fixated on preventing wrinkles. You don't need to be doing all this 10,000 step maintenance routine. Like, you're a kid, you should just enjoy your youth and have fun, period. And the Sephora epidemic proved that. Like, these kids should have not been trying to buy retinol, but they did, and we saw how much of a mess it was. So when Shay launched this new brand, it honestly felt like the same story, but just a new chapter. Now, instead of kids rushing to buy Drunk Elephant's retinol, they would turn to Rini. And even though the brand uses gentle, dermatologist-approved ingredients, it still feeds into the same anti-aging mindset that's taken over the internet. Over the past year, TikTok has become flooded with content that treats skincare like a survival strategy. 12-year-olds talking about preventative Botox, teens layering retinol and acids, and adults warning each other about aging like milk. What has started as self-care has quietly morphed into self-surveillance. It still plants the same seed, the idea that beauty requires maintenance, even before you grow into it. Now, let me read some comments about what people are saying about this whole fiasco. So one user said, so yet again, we are subjecting little girls, didn't see a boy in the picture, to adult behaviors. Got it. And that's the real tension here. It's marketed as if it's for kids, especially young girls. The whole brand though is based in adult routines, like the sheet mask, the mirror, just how the kids looked. It was just a bit weird. It's not malicious, but it's revealing. Because even if the intention is genuine, the message persists. Taking care of yourself often looks a lot like engaging in beauty routines. Then another user wrote, everything about this is wrong, but also why is this again only focused on little girls. Why can't we teach boys to take care of themselves? I found this to be a pretty sharp observation because it shows you how beauty and care are gendered from the beginning. Girls are taught to maintain while boys are just taught to exist. And by making skincare seem like a girly thing, we transform self-awareness into vanity and emotional care into cosmetics. It's not just about who's being targeted, it's also about who's being excluded. It's actually crazy the amount of men who I've met who don't have skincare routines. Like, you are at the age where you should know a skincare routine. Skincare routines, it's very much intertwined with beauty routines because I mean, if you wear makeup, they're always telling you the base is the most important thing, and your base is like your skin. So we are taught, okay, have a good skincare routine so your skin is good. So when you put on makeup, everything looks smooth and everything looks nice. So beauty and skincare to me are very much intertwined, low-key the same thing. It's also marketed that way as well. That's why a lot of guys, they just don't have good skincare routines. Like, it's kind of crazy. But not everyone had something negative to say about Rini. So someone said, she created this line because her daughter always wanted one of her mom's face masks, but the ingredients weren't safe for kids. So it's a fun way for kids to do what mom does. There's also a face mask for after a sunburn, which is actually a great idea for young kids who hate stuff being rubbed on their face. Nowhere in the marketing is it telling kids that they need to fix their skin. So one thing that I found interesting is that she said most kids don't want things rubbed in their face, but I'm sure kids would prefer to have sunscreen rubbed on their face than having a face mask on their face for like 10 minutes or whatever. Like, I think it makes more sense just to put on sunscreen or after cares. What do you call it? After sun? You know what you put on your skin after you had like a sunburn? Like, yeah. So I don't really get that argument in that sense. But regarding the other things that this user said, I would say it's fair. I feel like Shay's intentions pure, sincere. Like, I don't think she's maliciously trying to make young girls hate themselves and act like old women. However, the issue isn't with the product itself, but the environment it enters. Kids don't live in isolation. They are active online, where skincare isn't just fun, but also about performance. We have to keep it a buck. Like, y'all be over consuming and using way more than you actually need for the product, which I understand it's for aesthetic purposes. Like, it's to make the video, it's meant to make the video look aesthetically pleasing, because like you really don't need to squirt a whole like tube of like cream to put on your face just for everyday use, but it looks good in the video, so I understand that. So even if this brand in particular is not prompting kids to fret over wrinkles, TikTok certainly encourages that mindset, and I'm sure that this brand will use TikTok to market them. And are you guys gonna use like 3-year-olds doing their skincare routine? Like, I don't know. As I said before, Rini already resembles what we see in Sephora, and even though yes, it is marketed for kids, like it has like things like that, so adults are not gonna buy that, it still resembles adult routines, our rituals, what we do to maintain how we look. It resembles all of that. And that's why people really don't like it, because they truly feel like it's promoting toxic beauty standards to young girls. Literally toddlers, bro. Like 3-year-olds, y'all don't need no damn skincare routine. Y'all do not need a sheet mask. You really don't. Kids are inherently curious about adult behaviors. We are, well, not we, when I was a kid, like I understand if that's why I'm saying we, but we, like you're young, you don't understand stuff, you're just curious, you just want to know what these adults are doing, what your mom's doing, what your dad's doing. We just find everything cool. And the role as adults and parents is to guide them on the right path because kids are so naive. But Rini transforms this curiosity into a product. Instead of just playing with masks for fun, children now participate in a packaged branded experience designed to teach them a particular method of skincare. This isn't the same as teaching kids about hygiene, washing their hands, or brushing their teeth. Those are all basic skills. However, this brand turns exploration into consumption. Curiosity becomes something to buy, something to perform, and something judged by how cute the aesthetic looks, rather than how it helps the child's development. And what's striking is how it perfectly fits into social media culture. Kids today are surrounded by influencers and other children doing skincare routines, unboxing products, or sharing their morning rituals. And Rini slides smoothly into that environment. It's not malicious, but it influences behavior early on. Children begin to learn that exploration and imitation aren't just fun. They can be seen as valuable if presented the right way. Concepts like brand loyalty, aesthetic judgment, and the idea that self-care is performative are introduced before children fully grasp them. The implications are subtle but meaningful. When commercial curiosity becomes normalized, it sets a precedent for other adult behaviors too. Wellness, beauty, fashion, and even productivity habits can all be viewed through the same lens of performance and consumption. But please let me know your thoughts on the new brand. Do you love it? Do you hate it? And I also wrote about this on my Substack, so make sure you check that out. I will link that down below. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you all very soon, and bye.